Did you move your body today? I don't mean walking from your car to your office. I don't mean walking to the refrigerator. I mean, did you intentionally give your body a chance to move? Because here's something interesting. We spend time every day feeding our bodies. We eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe a snack, maybe a few too many snacks. But here's my question. Are we giving our bodies enough opportunity to actually use the energy we put into them? And if your answer is probably not, you're definitely not alone. Did you know that according to US physical activity guidelines, adults should generally aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activities each week? That works out to roughly 20 to 30 minutes a day, depending on how you spread it across the week. And adults should also do muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days per week. Now, 150 minutes, that doesn't sound impossible, but here's where it gets interesting. In 2022, only about 22.5 of American adults met the federal guidelines for both aerobic activity and muscle strengthening. Think about that. That's roughly 1 out of every 4 to 5 adults. And worldwide, the World Health Organization reported that about 31% of adults, approximately 1.8 billion people, weren't getting enough physical activity in 2022. So, if you have struggled with these, you have a lot of company, and the consequences matter. Physical inactivity is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, and other chronic health problems. At the same time, more than 40% of US adults were classified as having obesity in the CDC's August 2021 through August 2023 data. Now, I want to be careful here. Obesity is complex. It isn't caused by one thing. Health isn't determined by exercise alone. Genetics, diet, sleep, stress, environment, medical conditions, socioeconomic factors, all of these can play a role. So this isn't about looking at somebody's body and judging them. It's about asking a much simpler question. Are we giving our bodies the movement they were designed to experience? Because regular physical activity is associated with better cardiovascular health, muscular fitness, metabolic health, mental health, functional ability, and overall well-being. So, we know movement is important. Most of us probably don't need another person telling you that. The bigger question is, why is it so difficult to actually do it? Let's think about an ordinary day. You wake up, you eat something, you drive somewhere, you sit, you work, you eat lunch, you sit some more, you drive home, you eat dinner, maybe you watch something. Maybe you answer emails, maybe you're exhausted, and eventually you go to sleep. Tomorrow, we do it again. And here's a question I've been thinking about. With everything we eat, are we giving our bodies enough opportunity to move, work, and spend energy throughout the day? And that's where fitness enters the picture. Except, when you search for fitness online, what do you see? Muscles, abs, heavy weights, people running 10 miles, transformation pictures, the highlight reel of fitness, and those things can be inspiring, but they can also become intimidating. You start thinking, okay, I'm going to change, I'm joining a gym, I'm going to run tomorrow. This time I'm serious, and Monday you're motivated, Tuesday you're still going, Wednesday work gets busy, Thursday something comes up, and by next week that new lifestyle is already disappearing. Or maybe you walk into a gym and immediately feel like everyone else knows what they're doing. What machine do I use? Am I doing this correctly? Is somebody watching me? Do I look ridiculous? Maybe you're afraid someone you know will see you struggling. So eventually, it becomes easier just not to go. Does any of that resonate with you? Because people sometimes said, if you want to change your lifestyle, you have to change your environment. And there's something powerful about that idea. Our behavior doesn't happen in isolation. Our routine are connected to our schedules, our spaces, our responsibilities, our families, our work, our habits. So what if instead of waiting until we can completely reorganize our lives around fitness, we design fitness to fit more naturally inside the life we already have? What if your living room could become your training space, your bedroom, your office, your backyard, a hotel room when you're traveling? What if you didn't need an audience? What if you didn't need fancy equipment? And what if exercise didn't have to mean doing the same kind of workout every single day? That is the idea behind this channel. My name is Dr. Michael Su. I'm a content creator and consultant, and I understand how easily life can get in the way of health. Work gets busy, responsibilities accumulate, schedules change, motivation come and go, and sometimes without the right support or a routine that fits our environment, meaningful physical change can be difficult to sustain. I'm still working on that consistency myself. So if you're in a similar situation, if you're trying to become more consistent with exercise, join me on this journey. Because this isn't a channel built around pretending that staying fit is effortless. It's about creating a system that makes movement easier to return to, and this idea comes from something I experienced personally. Several years ago during my military service, I found myself in a very different environment. My daily contacts changed, my routine changed. I regularly practiced martial arts movements. I paid much closer attention to my diet. Movement became part of everyday life, and during that period, I lost about 70 pounds. That experience taught me something. The exercises matter, the food matter, but context and routine matters too. When movement became a normal part of my environment, consistency became much easier. Years later, I still need that reminder, and that's one reason I'm building this channel. Online Dojo Workout is based on a simple idea. Build a library of movements people can use wherever they are based on the aspect of fitness they want to develop. So what kind of movements are we talking about? A lot more than you might expect. Want to work on strength? We can use push-ups, squats, lunges, bodyweight exercises, and other resistance movements. Want to work on flexibility and mobility? We can explore yoga-inspired movements, stretching routines, and mobility exercises. Want to develop balance, control, and slower intentional movement? We can practice Tai Chi-inspired movements. Want gentle movements that combine coordination, breathing, posture, and body awareness? We can explore Qigong-inspired practices. Want something more dynamic? We can use martial arts movements for coordination, agility, endurance, power, and full body movement. And that's just the beginning. Think about the different dimensions we can train. Strength, cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, flexibility, mobility, balance, coordination, agility, speed, power, posture, and body control. Breathing and movement awareness. And different movement traditions give us different tools. Push-ups don't need to compete with yoga. Yoga doesn't need to compete with Tai Chi. Tai Chi doesn't need to compete with strength training. Martial arts doesn't have to replace traditional exercise. They are tools. Depending on your goals, age, ability, available space, and how you're feeling that day, you choose the tool that fits. And here's one of the most important design principles for this channel. You should be able to train in a small space. A room, a living room, a bedroom, a garage, an office, a backyard. When you have more space, the movements can expand. When you have less, they can scale down. When you're ready for more intensity, you can progress. When you need something gentler, you can adapt. The workout should be flexible enough to meet you where you are, because the goal isn't to create the world's most intimidating workout. The goal is to make movement something you can actually come back to tomorrow. And I want to make something clear. I'm not standing here telling you I figure everything out, copy me. I'm still working on these too. I have experienced what happens when my environment supports movement. I have experienced a major physical transformation, and I have also experienced what happens when life changes and maintaining those routines becomes harder. That's why this channel is a journey. As this channel grows, I'm going to continue building this library of movements. That means different workout length, intensities, movement styles, goals, and combination. Someday you might want strength, some days mobility, some days balance, some days you might just need 10 minutes to get your body moving. And instead of asking, what is the perfect workout? Maybe we start asking, what movement can I realistically do today? Because today's 10 minutes can lead to tomorrow's 20. One workout can become a routine. A routine can become part of your environment, and eventually, movement can become part of your lifestyle. So, if you're trying to build a more consistent relationship with exercise, welcome to Online Dojo Workout. Subscribe and stay tuned as the movement library grows and new workout series are released. Try different styles, discover what works for your body, build your own routine, and most importantly, keep moving. And if you need help figuring out how to use these resources, what kinds of workouts might feature goals, schedule, and circumstances, you can also book a consultation with me or a member of our team. We'll listen to your situations, talk through your goals and challenges, and help you think through a practical plan for moving forward. Because sometimes the missing piece isn't another workout video, sometimes it is figuring out how to make movement fit your life. All right, everyone, that's it for today's video. I'm Dr. Michael Su. Welcome to Online Dojo Workout. And until next time, keep moving.